Yep.
And so...
All right, we're rolling, so let's start.
We're rolling.
Yep. Hello, Paul here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's February 11th, 2015, and we got a three-part video today. We're going to talk about wood chips and using wood chips as a sheet mulch in the garden. And then I'm going to take you over to my mulberry tree, and we're going to do a little grafting. Graft one type of mulberry onto another type. And then we're going to go and plant some fig trees from cuttings that I'll show you how I do that. So the first part here is on wood chips, and if you can see, for about 100 yards, you see where the dog is there? Bear, come here, Bear. The wood chips go out about 100 yards there, and we've got that whole area covered. And we'll put that in berries like blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. And then over here, to my right, we've got just a whole other area of wood chips. And the wood chips work really well for keeping the grass down and keeping the weeds out. And we'll put berries in there. And you know, I don't really like mowing the lawn. Maybe you guys like to mow the lawn and get on your mower there. There's my mower over there. See the green tractor? It's got a 5-foot mower, and it just goes right through, and you know, it's really effective. But I don't want to do that this year because it kills lots of bugs and lots of bird food, you know, because the birds eat the bugs. And so what I want to do is I want to use the wood chips and let my bug population really grow and really thrive, and that'll really help the soil. And then if we turn around here, I'll show you what we got going in the garden here. We've had maybe 20 loads brought in so far, and they keep bringing them. And you can lift that up too and turn it. And just over here to my right, you'll see there's a little further. You got about 4 piles there that are as yet unspread, and we've spread about maybe 15 in here, maybe 10. And what I do is I just push it out with my my little track hoe. It's a skid steer.
Go back a little.
And then I go over them with the mower, and the mower just sort of on a high setting, it just sort of scatters them everywhere, and it makes it pretty level. And there's a lot of work I do with a rake too, just to get them flat. But what you can see here is in the spring, it's a very busy time because you're planting, you got all your work you got to do to get the gardens going. But now I'm mowing the lawn, I'm watering the garden, and I'm weeding the garden. And let me explain how that works. I'm mowing because I won't have to mow these areas that are covered with chips because the chips will keep the grass out. And then I'm watering because the chips keep the moisture in. The sun hits the chips and bounces off, and the water infiltrates into the chips and stays in the soil, so the ground will stay moist. And then I'm weeding because now I'm not going to have to weed my gardens because the chips will do most of that for me. So I'm really accomplishing 3 functions, and then a 4th function I'd add to that is I'm fertilizing, because all those bugs are able to take refuge in the chips. Now, what happens in here when it rains a lot is the worms start to die. They drown basically, and they come up and the birds get them, and they don't have a place to get out of the puddles and out of the standing water. But by putting the chips down, I create a place for the worms to go up into and to get out of the standing water, and so they don't die. And so I'm serving those 4 functions. Fertilizing, watering, weeding, and mowing, all in February when things aren't so busy. Because in the spring, when it hits here, it's really incredible. I mean, it's February 11th, it's 46 degrees out here. But you know, when the sun's out, it feels bearable. So I've got my shoes off today. You can take a picture of my feet. We're going barefoot today. I almost didn't do it, but decided to. There you go. And so we're going to walk over to the chips now, and I'm going to climb up on one of those piles and tell you what it's like. Do you need me to walk the camera? Okay. So what we got going on in the chips, it's called a thermophilic reaction. And basically, all that fungi and all that mold is cooking the chips. And they're getting really, really hot. Usually about 140, 150 degrees, which is hot. And this pile here seems to be the hottest. I don't know if you can see that steam coming off. You come a little closer maybe. There's a layer of steam coming off the top of that pile. It's just really hot. I'll go up there. And these chips are really hot. I mean, if you were really cold, you could sleep on that and you'd be warm. Put a sheet up on there and just go to bed. I think you could probably get away with that in Tennessee. So these are the 4 piles that I'm going to leave, and the reason I'm leaving these is the weeds in Tennessee are ferocious. I mean, they're going to come through. I already see stuff coming through right now, right here and here. And what we're going to do, what is that? Oh, that's grass, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 piles and we're going to come in and do, and just when a lot of weeds are coming in an area, we're just going to cover it. And so that's why I have these 4 piles sitting in reserve, because I know I'm going to need them. And I'll use a wheelbarrow, I'll use my tractor, whatever, just to get them to locations. But we're going to have to choke out a lot of weeds here if we're going to grow some good food.
Okay.
All right, so that's it for the wood chip section of the video. So, as they say in Las Vegas, the chips are down, and our chips are down. We're ready to rock in the spring. And so I'm going to take you over now to my mulberry tree, and we're going to start some grafting. So let's go over there. And the mulberry tree is a wonderful fruit. We buy a lot of dried mulberries, and we eat them all winter long. They're very expensive, very sweet, and very delicious. And so this is a mulberry tree right here, and it's doing really well. It's about 2 or 3 years old, and they grow like crazy. I mean, you can't kill them. They want to live. And the little yellow stickers on it are the grafts that we did yesterday, and this is my first time grafting. Yesterday was the first day I ever grafted anything. So if you're looking for a technical video on how to graft, there's plenty of them out there, but we're sort of in the just do it motif here, and what we're doing now is just figuring it out and learning how to do it. And so I'll show you what I got to do it with. These are my tools. These are oh wow, there's 2 airplanes going over. They look like they're having fun. They're not military. I don't know what they're doing, but so this is a clippers and a jackknife, and I clean them. I sterilize them with alcohol. And I'll just tuck one back here and the other back there. And duct tape, because everyone in the South uses duct tape for everything. There's special tape you can use for grafting, but we want to say we did it with duct tape because we're in Nashville. And you can use duct tape for just about anything. And a little piece of caution tape we'll tie onto the we'll tie that onto the graft just so we know which ones we grafted, because the grafts might be so good we can't tell them apart, you know. And then this is called cyan wood. This is wood from a mulberry tree a little further behind me, maybe 100 yards behind me, behind that red house, that has been very fruitful and has a really delicious fruit on it. So, and then this one hasn't fruited at all. So I'm going to just try to graft it on, and I'm more just getting experience. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to find something that's the same diameter. So I'll come out here, and this one looks pretty good right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe not. And that's really, oh, this one, this is a good one. So yeah, I'll graft right onto there. Let's see, I'll put the other cyan down here. And so what I'll do is make a clean cut here. And then you want to cut it so it's about the same diameter. Yeah, that's a pretty good fit right there.
Yep.
And then, so I'll tuck that behind my ear, and then I come in, I want to cut this down the middle, and you can do this with the knife too, but I don't want to draw blood. So, right down the middle, lock those up, put them back here, pull out my jackknife, and then it's a bit tricky. I got a bud here and a bud here. I'll lose that bud. So you want to cut it so it fits in and all the cambium layers, that's the edge under the bark, all match up. So I'm going to be careful of this bud right here, and I'm just going to whittle this down into a wedge. And you look to see if you've hit the middle. A little more on that side. Okay, I can see the middle now. And then I turn it 180 degrees. There we go. Whittle it down. Trying not to destroy these buds, so I'm being very careful how I hold it. There we go. Okay, if you can see that, it's got a good point on it. And all the way around, I might just take a little off of there. Okay, and then I'll come in here and I'll open this up with my knife just to get it started. I can put the knife away. We're done with that. And I'll insert it all the way to there. And that's a really good fit. It's nice when you do them right. And the trick is to make the wedge long enough so it's not, you know, a real stubby wedge. So it goes right in. Then I like to put the buds down there. And I like to have one bud facing down. That's sort of how they grow on the tree, I noticed. And I'll take 2 pieces of duct tape. And I don't want any watering air getting in there. They said that was bad. So I'll put one on the bottom. And then one sort of on the top. But I don't want to, I got a bud there, so I want that to poke through. There we go. I got the bud clear there. Okay. And then I've got a piece of ribbon here. And we'll let you know how that does on one of our other videos. And I'm not an expert at this. That doesn't look like a clean cut there. There we go. But there's a lot more, you can do a lot more with it. You can put wax on it. And then on the videos I watch, they make quite a fuss over all the different products they use and so forth. But I'm going to try this. If it works, great. If not, then I'll step it up a bit. So that's it on grafting.
Did you want to show them the Bradford pears up front, or do you want to wait?
No, this is good. I think this is covered. Up front, I'd like to talk about it though.
Yeah.
Up front, what I did in Nashville, Tennessee, this is on the other side of the house. In Nashville, Tennessee, we have what's called the Bradford pear, a very popular ornamental plant that's planted in all the yards. Very beautiful in the spring, but it has these little pears that you can't eat. And so what I did is my neighbor was nice enough to give me some cuttings off of her pear tree. She has a nice pear tree. It's on its way out. And so I took some cuttings off of that and I grafted them onto the Bradford pear. And now when I go up the driveway, every time I come and go from the house, I can see the fruit of the pear when it comes in. So we did a bunch of maybe 7 or 8 grafts on that, and we'll see how they do. And you're supposed to do this in the spring, but I'm going to be doing it all year round. It's easy, it's fun, and what a great way to get fruit. And if you know someone who has a great fruit tree, you can just say, hey, can I have a couple cuttings, and graft them into an ornamental fruit tree. You might have crabapple tree in your yard. You might have ornamental cherry tree or an ornamental pear tree. These ornamental fruit trees are quite popular in people's yards, and so you can create fruit right away. You don't even have to wait like maybe 2 years before you can have a lot of fruit in your yard. So this is a very effective sort of guerrilla marketing technique, that guerrilla gardening technique that I'm really excited about. And so we'll be coming back to this mulberry tree as the spring progresses and seeing if we have life.
There's one over there.
And there's also another one over there, yep, that we did. We wanted to have cross-pollination, so we planted a few of these. And so we'll be looking at this as the spring unfolds and giving you reports. And so now we're going to take you over to the, let me see how we're doing here. We'll take you over to the fig tree. We're going to plant a couple fig trees. Daddy, we'll put you over here. Now the fig tree, it's a little too cold in Tennessee to do figs properly. They die back, they have to be mulched very heavily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the side of this building. This is where I used to keep chickens before I stopped eating eggs and that, and I became a vegan. And so we're going to do it up against this building because it's facing south, and it locks in a lot of heat somehow. I don't really understand it, but they do quite well if you face them south or like on a south-facing wall or west-facing wall. They do quite well. And so what I got here is I've got some rooting hormone, and I want to find an organic version of this, but this is where we're at right now. And so I'll dip. These are cuttings from my other fig tree, which had a lot of fruit last year. So I'll dip those in, and that'll just sort of get the, it'll signal to the wood that you're supposed to have roots here. That's what rooting hormone does. And then what I'll do is dig a hole. This is a narrow trenching shovel, and it's a wonderful thing to have because you can run it barefoot, which I like to do. But you don't have to, it's not real hard to dig a hole with this. So you can dig a hole really quickly. It's a narrow hole, but it's just real easy to dig with, and it really makes digging a joy, whereas digging can really be tough. So I'll scrape away the chips here. Take out a shovelful or two. Oh, there's a beautiful worm here. Look at this. I think I cut the poor guy in half, but he'll...
Didn't take long to find them.
No, there's a lot of worms under the chips. The chips are just a breeding ground for bugs and worms and mice, and they bring in a lot of owls and a lot of snakes too, and a lot of mice, because the owls come in to get the mice. So you see I got a huge fat juicy worm in that hole. And so what I'll do, these fig trees are bionic. I mean, this stuff wants to live. It's like a tropical plant. It just goes. So I'll put them both in there. One I'll bury completely, the other one I'll leave sticking out. Oh, there's maybe 5 or 6 worms here. There's a lot of them. And then this is a myco board, and it'll just be a border for the plant, for the fig tree. And you can see all the mycelium running here. The white stuff on the wood, that's mycelium, and that releases a lot of micronutrients and minerals to the plants, and it's just a fantastic way to help plants grow. And so that goes together like that, and I'll put that over the hole. Push it down a bit. Then I'll get some more chips in here. And just lightly cover it. And that one's done. And I'll do the other one over here. I'll do that off camera because I think we can wind it up there. I think you get the idea. It's really pretty simple. So thank you for watching our video today, and I hope you have as much fun in your garden as I do in mine. And we're really looking forward to an incredible spring with the wood chips and the grafting and the figs, and we just get terribly excited about it. And one of our big frustrations is in December and January and February. There's not a whole lot to do, so we like to kind of keep our gardening going because it's what we do. It's what we do for fun and relaxation and for excitement. And so we like to be able to do stuff, and the chips have provided that, and the grafting and the fig planting provide just something to sort of get it all going and keep it all going over the winter in our minds. So we do thank you for watching, and we'll sign out there. Thank you.
Came out beautiful.